Hello everyone and welcome back. In the last episode, as you've seen, we undercoated all the parts. Now it's time to start working out the colours and all the lines and all the bits and pieces, start painting this out. This drawing has, or these colours here, it does have a very faint black line, and I haven't worked out yet whether I'm going to do a 1mm or a 2mm. Let's just go to the plan for a second. Let's see if we can zoom in even more. Here we go. I don't know if it's better or worse. Okay, so on the back here, there seems to be a little bit of a lip just before the bottom down here. Not going to be as hard probably to try and find that on the ship, but if we go to the other side, on the other side there's kind of like a little square here at the front, sort of just there, and it looks like that's fairly noticeable on the ship. So I'm going to say the black line sort of starts just under there somewhere. So now you're seeing exactly what I'm looking at, and trust me, we're zoomed in a long way here. Let's see if we can find this on the ship. Here's that square I was talking about just here, and it would seem the black line, I think, runs through here, because the top of this square section is still showing. Sorry about the zoom. So let's just go back to the plan and double check that. So here's the plan, and obviously you and we both can't see this. So let's try and zoom in a little more. Alright, somewhere around there, and we can make out, there's my pointer. So that's where the square is, just there. And I think the top of that square is in the top section. So I reckon there could be a line just here somewhere, and this very faint black line has to go in there. Boy. Here I've got them both on screen. Don't ask me how I did that. So there's that square just here. And I was just looking just above it, and we can also see this section in the ship as well. So we know we got to be somewhere just here, which is probably, if I can just move that, there's this section here. There it is there. So if we now come down, so we're on this section now. Come down, that's probably that line there. And I reckon that's the top of that. So you tell me, but I reckon that line there, the one that we're looking at predominantly on the ship, yeah, I reckon that line there is probably where we're going to start our black line from. So if I go to the ship, so probably through there. Probably halfway through there. Go back to the drawing. Yep, there's that piece there. It's definitely underneath it. And there's definitely, that's part of the square. Yeah, I'm going to call that, go back to the ship, I'm going to call the black line probably right through here. This is important because some of these illustrations, you know, some of them don't have the black line there at all. And being a very small, skinny strip, it's going to be hard anyway. But I really want to get the strip in the right spots, which is why I'm zooming in so far, concentrating on this. And there's my nail as a reference guide. Like, we're in a long way. So I think it's pretty fair to say that through there is where the line will go from the bottom here, probably up. We could probably go a mil. I think 2 mil is going to be a little bit too big. Although, according to the plan, can we just go that way just a fraction? Unfortunately, it's right on my zoom thing on my camera. So if we go the square, yeah, it's definitely underneath that little bit there. There's a little piece that sticks out. So perhaps maybe the black line is actually from there to there. Wow, I don't really know. Probably a good call. That would be a definite 2 mil 2 mil strip though. Okay, let's have a look what we got here. There's 1 mil. There's 2 mil. Or we'd be better off to go to 2 mil underneath this section just here. Well, that's a good call too. So let's have another look at it. I had the 1 mil line here and the 2 mil because I wasn't sure which way it was going to go. I think the 2 mil, looking at this. Now, let's go back to the plane. Again, there's the square, and the square is just there. Just here. I'm sure you're all up with me on that one. Now, it's hard to see zoomed in this far, but that's the square there. And that's the little lip. Well, the little lip is definitely staying in the camouflage. Yeah, all right. I'm going to say we're going to go 2 mil just underneath that lip. Although I really do question what that there is. Like there. What would that be? Don't really know. But either way, I reckon we're pretty close. Anyway, I hope you agree with me on that one, because we're going to try it out. So if we now zoom out to where we just were, there's the plane, and go 2 mil under here. Although 2 mil for a black line, that's a very big black line. And running it through this way, I do have to be careful when it comes up to through here. So, for an example, if we were to measure this and say 2 mil would probably put us. Let's see if I can do that on the camera. Let's get the rule the right way. Let's go down 2 mil. 1, 2. We are probably looking at 21, 22, possibly 23 from the top. So, and I do know that this ship, as you can see, is quite flat. So, you know, they're not going to make a ship that's sort of up one way and up the other way. And yeah, we should probably measure from the underside upwards, but to make it easy, we're going to measure from the upside down. So now we know it's roughly 23 mil. Let's just line that up again. 2 mil down. It's probably seriously closer to 22.5, which would give us a 2 mil line. Sorry, you're out of the view there just a little bit. So I'm not trying to go to this line. I'm trying to come down 2 mil from this line. So there's the 2 mil down. Let's slide it over a little bit. So 1, 2. Yeah, we're definitely looking at 22.5, 22. You can round it off. So we go straight 22 on here. Where do we end up? Not bad. Not bad. You could probably use that as a very good reference. Just go straight 22. So if we were to travel the 22 further along, and I'm only showing you this because this is quite important, how to work out where the line is. So that's 21, 22. Yeah, that kind of works. So 22 would be the bottom of the line. Yeah, just remembering that. So this is not the top, this is the bottom. So if we go straight 22, that works. 22, 1, 2. That kind of works. That's putting it back almost on that line there. This one here. Let's go back 22. Looks like it's going to kind of run out of that line a little bit. Yep. And this is what I was afraid of, this section here. So if we go, I need to change a view of the camera. So if we go 22 to here, 21, 22, we're now starting to hit this lip here. That is going to be very, very difficult to continue that black line on. To number one, it's on a curved edge, and then we've got to try to continue it on and stay at 2 mil. I mean, we're really pushing a lot of barriers here. So 22, although we did say we could go 22.5, so sorry, I was looking at it over and above the camera. So 21, 2.5 almost puts us on that line there. So let's make sure you got it. 1, is that 2? So yeah, wow. You could almost say that the 2 mil line is supposed to run through here of the ship, all the way through here. Now, this theory of the ruler only works up until this part of the ship, because after that we run out of ship. The ship changes. So whatever line we pick, 22.5, again, the line is now kind of running out, so we can't really use that either. Where are we? 21, so that's 22. Wow. So what if we went a fraction higher? So how much does that come down? So if that is 22 there, sorry, I did it again. If that is 22 there, and we're about, I don't know, I guess the ruler's length there, what are we here to sliding it over? We are about 16 and a half. Let's go back. 22. Slide the ruler over. Yeah, even 16. So now we continue on with 16 as a rough reference now to the back. Yeah, we're pretty close to where it says that line is. 16. There it is. which would probably put that black line. So that would be the black line from there above 16. Let's double check that. Check it twice, cut once. Yeah, so we're going to probably say, yeah, that line there would be the start of the black line up. Now, let's double check the reference on that on the plan. So we're saying from this line up and then from that line down. Let's pause there for a second. Now let's see if I can do that again. So I need my pointer. I'm just going to fold that there just for a second. There is the ship. I'm going to have to do this left-handed. I'm not as good with my left hand. So there's the top of the ship. There's the next line. Down the one more line, that one. There seems to be this funny line here, which is just there, and then the black line, which would probably put me, so if I'm saying, so I'm now going to line this line up with where I'm saying this line's going to be. But if we come up to mill, wow, gee, it's close. We're in the right area. Because the black line, and the reason I'm starting with the black line first is very, very simple. Looks like I may have actually lost some footage here. Don't really know whether I just got the pauses and the play and the records wrong. Because the next section looks like I'm preparing for some tape and stuff when it should be paused. So what I'm thinking is I've somehow got them mixed up and it's now recording, and I paused the section where I should have been talking. Funny. Anyway, I think what I was trying to say was the black line is very important because it's the basis of the separation line of the red of the hull and the camouflage, and because it's only a 2 mil line and the angles and everything else, I'm very much considering doing the black line. I'm doing the black first and then putting the line down on top of it and then masking off from there. I'm not sure if I explain this further on, but I'm just doing a bit of a cut in just to help you along a bit. I'm still learning. It's all good. So here you can see what I've done. I've dropped the 2 pieces of tape down as a bit of a marker, and it was a little wider than 2 mil. I do realise that, but just roughly in the right area. And then I did the same on the other end, and then quite basically I just dropped the tape straight down over the top. It's not perfect. The front section is not bad. The back section does need a little bit extra work. I'm fairly happy with it like that. The only real concern I have is it doesn't leave an awful lot for the camouflage for here. But I do believe we are almost correct. What I don't mind about it is it dropped the tape on this side at the start of that, the curve bit where it goes sort of, the ship is sort of flat and then curves out and then comes around, drops it on there. I can work with that line. Like I said, the back is not perfect, but even on this camera view, you can kind of see that, you know, we're roughly in the right area there. And this was very, very difficult to work out. Anyway, And most of the reason, as I said before, I'm leaving it on here is I'm actually considering doing the black first and then dropping the line on top to keep the black and then mask up this section, the camouflage section, do the red, and then mask up the red side. So this ship is going to end up with masking tape all over it. So we can do the 3 different stages of camouflage on this side. This is why I think the black line was so important, and this is why I've done a video on it. I don't like to make the videos this long on something that's so simple, but it's very, very important. Anyway, I hope you've been patient enough and you're still here. That's the explanation of that. I think the next episode I'll probably paint underneath this, and I'm pretty sure I'm going to go with this. Either that or I drop this white line down and then I mask either side of it. I don't know, I think that's rather difficult. Anyway, I'm just sort of waffling on now. Hope you enjoyed the episode, and I'll catch you on the next one. Bye.